As a U.S. citizen, would you dare to pull several hundred thousands out in cash out of a bank? Uh, I'm worried about the deep state pulling. Yeah. So one time I bought a house. Back when I was an entrepreneur, I was extremely naive as to how these things worked, and I just didn't have a clue really. I was shockingly naive, and I right about the time. In fact, when I retired in 2012, I started buying real estate, as most of you guys know, and I had about I don't know what it was, a couple hundred grand in a safe deposit box in B of A in Kansas City. And so I was buying a house. And I just wanted to use the cash that was in my, or some of the cash that was in my safe deposit box. So I had to get like a cashier's check for 100 grand or something. And so I went into the box. I just grabbed 100 grand, and then I went up to the cashier gal, you know, the- whatever they're called, and I said, "Yeah, here's 100 grand. I need a money order, or I need a cashier's check, or whatever." And the gal almost fainted. I mean, the bank manager like sprinted over. It was like something out of a movie, like I was robbing the bank or something. And the security guy goes over, locks the front door, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, what is going on here?" And oh, it was just a complete nightmare. I mean, it was just an ordeal for like a half hour of questioning and paperwork and this. I'm like, isn't this a bank? Like, it's $100,000 just for a cashier's check. I mean, don't you guys do this all the time? Like, it was just complete panic, freak out mode. To your point, like almost black SUV mode. And then I got a letter from them, I don't know, a few days later saying that I needed to they were going to close my accounts, and I had like 28 hours or 24 hours or 48 hours, something like that, to get all of my belongings out of the safe deposit box, or I wasn't getting it back. And so my point is, I don't know that you'd have the black SUV show up, but again, this was back in 2012. So maybe you would today. I don't know, but I doubt you would. But my point is, the bank would go. The bank would freak out. Now, if you've got a good personal relationship with them, then it's probably going to be a different story. Then what I would do is I would call the bank well in advance and say, "Hey, I need, a couple 100 grand in cash. Um, I don't, in 2 weeks, I want to give you guys plenty of lead time here. What's the best approach? What's the best plan of attack?" And then just keep in mind that if it's a Wells Fargo or any of these basically banks that are controlled by the US government, there's a good chance they'll shut down your account. So I would say 50-50. Even if they do it, they'll say, "Yeah, you'll get that letter in the mail." Now, if it's a community bank, like I've got two banks in the U.S. One is Wells Fargo, and one is a small community bank in Kansas City, where I know the guy that's the VP of commercial lending very, very well. To the point, every time I go back to Kansas City, I always grab dinner with him, or coffee or lunch or something. So if you got that type of relationship, then I really wouldn't worry about it. I don't know how it still would probably take them a couple weeks to get a couple 100 grand, I'm guessing. Um, but in an audit, yeah, I mean, you're going to increase your chances of getting audited for sure. I would say if it's just a Wells Fargo or B of A, even if you get the money, there's probably a 50-50 chance they close your account, and you probably increase your chances of being audited by the IRS by 10%, maybe. So if actually maybe 100%. Not that there's a 100% chance you get audited, but whatever your chance of being audited now is for the average person, say it's 2 or 3%, then I would say if you do that, then it goes up to 4 or 5, 6, something like that.